Welcome back to the IoT Podcast. We're delighted to have Simon here, who's going to give us an insight on what he does, what the company does, and some of your thoughts around the cybersecurity world. So, Simon, introduce yourself. Who do you work for? What do you do?
Well, my name's Simon Goda. I'm a senior member of technical staff at a company called Doulos Limited, who are a technical training provider based in the UK and in Europe and worldwide, really. We run courses all around the world. So the company came out of the sort of design side of the tech industry, EDA, actually designing the chips that we're all using these days. But in recent years, the last 10 years or so, we've been much more active in the embedded space, embedded software, operating systems, Linux, which is where I've joined the company, are very active. And that, of course, has led to security inevitably. Yeah. We can't have one without the other. So I've come from a...
Hopefully not.
Well, you'd be surprised, I suppose is what I would say. That I've come from a sort of more classic embedded Linux background. I used to work for a semiconductor company in their set-top box division, working on tools, OSs, helping customers develop their product. And in those days, security was kind of added in afterwards in that market with DRM and all that sort of thing. Yeah. But now we work with customers across every industry you could think of, literally every industry that uses tech, from automotive to unmanned vehicles to... We did a course for a company that makes pasta making machines in their factories, so it's literally everything. And some of these guys are coming quite late to security, and it's quite interesting, shocking almost, that people don't understand what it is they're dealing with.
Yeah, and that's exactly why we're here today. So we've got the IoT Security Foundation event. So let's delve right into it. What do you think is going on in the security world at the moment? What are your thoughts?
It's starting to, I'm not sure this is the right phrase, but become mainstream, which is a reassuring thing. So we were at a big open source event in Dublin a few weeks ago called the Open Source Summit, which covers all aspects of open source software, Linux, cloud, embedded, all of that. And it was really notable, very technical event, a lot of technical talks. It was very notable that security was just present, whereas in previous years it hadn't been. In the embedded stream, there was a lot about software bill of materials, for example, which has never really come up in that industry before. It wasn't just one talk, there were 3, 4, 5 talks about these topics. And it was reassuring that there was this sort of awareness that we certainly felt was lacking in some parts of the industry. So that's a good thing. Yeah,
for sure. I think a lot of people overlook how easy it is for these people to hack effectively and what they're hacking, and to the point where a smart thermostat in a fish tank is a story that you may hear today because it comes up quite a lot of these events, but you can get into that and then all of a sudden they're in your network and they overlook it, which is a good point. That leads on to the next question, which is there any particular challenges that you're seeing quite a lot or hearing quite a lot of in security at the moment?
Yeah, I think so. In the space that I work in, which is with Linux, with a huge feature-rich operating system, I think they're starting a project, they're using Linux as the main OS, they don't know where to start. Yeah. And obviously things like the IoT Security Assurance Framework can give people a starting point, but then where people like my organisation can come in is actually joining that to the actual bells and whistles within the operating system that they need to be working with. And I think a lot of our customers are in that middle ground. They know they need to do it. They know there are all these things out there that they can be doing, but where do you actually start? How do you get your project to be a secure project?
And I think that's quite a prominent conversation, isn't it? I think a lot of people are now saying start at the router. Start at the router, because that hopefully is what's connected to everything else. Okay, so based on the challenges that you're seeing then, if you were to give 1 or 2 bits of advice to any companies at the moment, what would you personally give?
I think my main advice would be to make security the first conversation you have in the design process, not the last, or not even the second or third. We've had conversations with clients, potential clients, who say things like, oh, well, our device isn't really online, so we don't need to worry about it. And that always sets the alarm bells. And even when it is what do they call it, a gapped device, which isn't online all the time, you drill down a bit deeper. Oh yeah, we put it online to do updates. Yeah. And you're still thinking, but you just said security isn't, but what's happening here? You've got firmware coming over a network and you're not securing this device. That's crazy. So having those conversations at the beginning, and I suppose that leads to the second bit of advice that I would give, is make it a whole team activity. Don't have a security bod that sits in the corner telling everyone else what to do. The more brains you get into that problem, looking at things from different angles, the better it will be, and the more complete your product will be. Ultimately.
I really like that. I actually heard a story at the previous event, and it was basically a distributor of whatever it might have been at the time, but down to the installer of that should be aware of some of the cybersecurity problems. Yeah. The difficulty was trying to convince the installer, well, why do I need to know this? Yeah. So that's another challenge. Yeah. And if you can spread it company wide, then hopefully, like you said, it's another step in the right direction. Perfect. Thank you very much. I suppose the next point to call for yourself is to let the audience know some socials, where to find you, your company website, that sort of thing.
If you head to doulos.com, there are not many companies named Doulos out there, so if you look for doulos.com, you'll find us in this space. So.
Are you on LinkedIn as well yourself? Or?
I think I am, yes.
There we go. Perfect. Thank you very much, and fingers crossed we can get to a sort of path. I don't think it'll ever stop. I've heard it already, there's no silver bullet.
No, there certainly isn't. I think we have to be as active and as agile as the people that are trying to attack these systems, and that's where we do.
Lovely. Thank you very much.
Thank you.